Hello, my friends. I'm Rick, and this is your Seat at the Table, and we are looking at Pirates of the Fallen Stars by, what is it, Curtis Scott. This is an official game accessory for the Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd Edition Forgotten Realms setting. Yeah. Oh, yeah. When Pirates of the Caribbean first came out, I immediately thought, gee, I've played that game before. Right? I'm always been I don't know, I'm being a child of the 70s. I have a thing for pirate movies and pirates in the first place. I always have. One of my earliest forays into anime was when I'd heard about One Piece, and I thought, well, I gotta follow this. And after I got past some of the goofiness of it, it kind of just sucked me down. A lot of these pirate movies, a lot of the old stuff, I really love them. Some of the newer stuff, right? But it is what it is. This was published in let's see, TSR, what year? 1992. All right. So we got The Pirate's Life for Me, and of course what you expect to find. Chapter 1: To be a pirate. What is piracy? Where is it practiced? Life aboard the ship. The various ranks, captain, first mate, etc., etc. History of the pirates, specifically the pirates in and around Inner Sphere, or Fey Run, excuse me, Forgotten Realms. The Pirate Wars. We always have to have some Pirate Wars. Methodus and his successors. The Pirates Today. Pirates Customs. Pirate Organizations. Right? And then we get into, Pirate Faiths. Proficiencies at sea. Now, and there's some certain proficiencies and skills that we often take for granted if we're land-based adventurers. But if you become sea-based adventurers, or all the pirates or some other reason for spending a lot of time in and on and around ships, that those skills that seem innocuous and not that important on land become quite important. Tightrope, rope use, rope work, walking on ropes, that sort of stuff, and they talk about it. So rope use, seamanship, then we talk about losing and regaining your balance, riding in the sea, swimming, survival, tightrope walking, tracking, weather sense. Then we get some more specialty magic items, or magic of the inner sea, special spells for the area kind of stuff, or that are known for pirates to use, new magical items. And we get into Chapter 3, Nations of the Inner Sphere, and basically we talk about all the key nations in and around the Sea of Fallen Stars and how they interact with pirates in general. And of course, that's a lot of fluff, but it's all good. At one time or another, me and my parties have landed on every one of these things and had adventures. And then we get into Chapter 5, the Rogues Gallery. Most importantly, these just give you some handy-dandy, ready-to-made NPC to toss at your players if need be, and or to give you a template or or give you examples of, so you can create your own. And that's what I tell them. I've been struggling. I don't know how to. I'm trying to run this. I'm going to be a new GM, and I'm going to run this game, and I just can't figure out how to come up with a good bad guy. Borrow one. Change the name. Not that hard, Chuck. The hard part's getting your opponents to enjoy it, or your players to enjoy it. Anyway, there's some awesome artwork inside this book too. There is, and continuing NPCs and all of them yahoos. And then we got Chapter 6, Ships to the Inner Sea. This was a chapter that I've used quite extensively, not just in Forgotten Realms, but in a number of other fantasy settings over the decades, because it gave me some really good basic parameters for naval combat. One of the downsides for tabletop role-playing game experience is that certain elements, so underwater combat, for example, or underwater adventures and experience, just like on the surface water, tend to be downplayed or minimized. So you'll find a far fewer adaptable rules for those split offs of the main genre, because they don't want to focus on it, or it's just the sheer amount of material. They would have to have entire chapters devoted to it. So this is one of the reasons certain books, later on we see things like this, because it then gives them a chance and a reason to focus a bit more on it. So we talk about the ship's architecture, how base movement works, emergency movement, see the worthiness of ships, armament, cargo space, length and width, and things like this. And then we get some specific blueprints for some types. Then we get into a section for improvements, so improving your ship, adding catapults and ballista, fire projectors, defensive improvements, castles and plating and netting and rigging and special improvements, and crews, increasing crew status, effects of crew status, weapon teams, so on and so forth, towing creatures and what it might take. So if you're out to sea and you take on a big honking, a big honking alien whale and you walk it, you want to haul it in, see if you can make money off of it, here's how you do it. So all good stuff. Then we get Chapter 7, Movement and Combat, the good set of rules for naval combat on the table. There are, if you're not an aficionado of actual tabletop war games, there is a number of tabletop war games specifically for naval combat, and there are some that are affiliated with like World War I, World War II, and there's a lot of others that are just played up straight naval combat, and it goes all the way back to the old Byzantines and Trimines, where everybody's got banks of rowers, and your best chance is to ram your nose of your ship into the middle of the other guy's ship, kind of thing. And a lot of people, there is a fan base for it, I guess. You can find their videos and stuff on YouTube if you look for them, and it is not quite a different sort of tabletop combat, but it is interesting. I have played it a few times with other people, and I've always enjoyed that sort of stuff. I'm just kind of weird that way. I mean, I guess I'm weird no matter how you look at it, how my wife says. Anyway, so movement after ramming, shearing attacks, grappling and boarding, damaging ships, crashes, critical hits. Yeah, your ships can have a critical hit. Sinking and breaking up, the effects of crew losses on ship performance, fire, morale. You can set a ship on fire, but it doesn't necessarily burn to the ground in the first 60 seconds. You might have some time, and it might become a very ugly and hostile combat environment in a hurry, though. Yes, sir. I can tell you that for a fact. Okay, so we got players' information, fight the pirates, blah, blah, blah. So this is a little micro adventure that goes with the book. And I don't know if you can find a copy of this. I paid $15 for it in '92 when it came out. This is an awesome book, and lots of good stuff. And I'd be surprised if there aren't much more newer, updated versions of naval combat for these kind of settings. I'm not familiar with any right off the top of my head. That's on me, but I'm just saying. Till next time, I'm Rick. Missy's over here in the corner. Hope you guys have yourself a great weekend. We may or may not get some snow. Maybe. It just irritates me to no end.